welcome to Simply Made Homestead. I'm Marion, and today we're going to plant some potatoes. Now, before we plant our potatoes, we need to prepare them for planting. And I do have a video out on how to do that, and I will link it below, so be sure and check that out if you need some help there. But today, ours are prepped. I really should have probably planted them a couple of days ago. Things happen, you know, sometimes we just do what we can do, right? So, first, to get ready, we need to prepare our trenches. Now, our trenches, they don't need to be real deep. I don't know, about 4 inches, 3 or 4 inches down. And you can take a hoe and you can just dig out the trenches, just like that. You can dig out a little trench and you can just go down and do it that way. Now, for Christmas this year, my husband bought me a wheel hoe, and I am so thankful for it. It is quite possibly the best Christmas present I've ever had. This is my first time making a trench with it, so we're going to check that out, see how that goes, but I expect really good things. It'll really help my life out. This was purchased through Haas Tools. I'll leave a link for that as well. But first, let's get to making a trench. All right, now we have our trenches, so now it's time to plant our potatoes. Okay, so now we have our trenches dug. You can see they're not very deep, but it's perfect for potato. You don't need it to be very deep. Here are my potatoes that I had prepped previously, all cut. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna plant them the cut side down. And see these little eyes here? That's where that's where potatoes are going to grow out of them. So, okay, so what we'll do is we'll just place them 4 to 6 to 8 inches apart. And we want to go eye side up, and we'll just drop them in there. Okay, now these rows are 24 feet apiece each, and I almost had enough room for 2 full rows. So we'll just fill in the end down there with something. Now these potatoes, I purchased 5 pounds of potatoes, and once I cut them up and everything, I almost got 50 feet of potatoes. So that's a lot of potatoes. Before we cover the potatoes, I keep trying to call them tomatoes, but they're potatoes. We're going to take a little 10-10-10. So I'm going to take a little 10-10-10, and I'm just going to sprinkle it on each side of the potatoes. All the way down. Now I didn't put the fertilizer on the potatoes, I put it on each side of the row. And now what you'll do is you'll go back and just cover up your potatoes. So if you're using a hoe, just come along, go down one side and then the other, and cover up your potatoes. But thankfully to my husband, we have the wheel hoe, and we'll just go down. And on the wheel hoe, we have switched the blades that previously cut our furrow for us, and now it's pushing the dirt back over the potatoes. And there we have it. Our potatoes are planted, they're fertilized. We need to just wait until they start coming up. When they start coming up and you see a little green sticking up, go back over and cover it with dirt again. I do it a couple more times. Once you see the green coming up and it gets a little height to it, cover it up. It will keep growing, and it gives lots of dirt around the base so it can grow lots of potatoes. And potatoes, they don't like a lot of water. So if your ground's really wet, wait on planting until it dries out a bit. They will tend to rot really quickly if you put them in a really soppy, wet ground. So make sure it's not too moist when you plant them. Now potatoes, like I said, they don't like a lot of water, so they do need water. So you do just water, depending on your ground. You want them to get their water, but you don't want it to be too wet. Okay, so just you have to keep an eye on it. If you have other things planted in the garden, you just need to be particular. Run some soaker hoses maybe, or just be sure, just come out and water them by hand if you have a small plot like I have. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I would love to hear from you, or any suggestions or helpful comments from me. I also appreciate those very much. Thank you so much for being here with me today. We'll check back in on these potatoes and I'll show you how they're doing and what's going on with them. And I would love to see pictures, or go to my Facebook page, Simply Made Homestead, and post pictures of your garden and your potatoes. I would love to see what you got going on and how you set up your garden and things like that. We're growing and expanding here on our acre of land, and we're putting as much in it as we can to get the most out of it and to be more sustainable. So if you like this video or things like this are helpful to you, please hit the like button, subscribe, and share us with your friends and family. That's the best thing that you can do to help us. Thank you again, everyone. Take care, and God bless.